What's up, you guys? Welcome to my podcast. My name is Tierra, and I'm just really wanted to talk about some things. I really just feel like there's too many rumors going around about myself, and not only that, I just feel like I can relate to other girls. I can relate to other girls that deal with the same type of things, and especially due to misconception and just not having certain type of guidance. People have a certain type of outlook on you. Additional to that being said, I just can say that like I was a free spirited type person, and I just love differently. Like I grew up learning how to love a man, and I watched the movies on Disney like any other girl. And additional to that, my grandmother and my mom, they used to like read different stories to me about Cinderella and just stuff like that, just love stories all the time. So that's just how I grew up, conditioned to love basically. With all that being said, although I don't blame my mother for how I was basically brought up, but additional to that, my dad was also in prison, which also played a big role in me not having knowledge on how men operated and how you're supposed to operate in certain relationships and things like that, and just when it comes to your body in a sexual manner as well. With that being said, I can just genuinely talk about me feeling genuine manipulation from said men due to them preying upon knowing my way of thinking and the way that I love, the way that I treated people, and how I come across and how I thought of love. I'm a person who believes that love's supposed to be like Twilight, and that you're just supposed to love somebody to death, and that you're supposed to meet this person and y'all are soulmates and y'all are supposed to get married, and that y'all are supposed to have fun and do all these different things. But what I realized is that, for one, in our culture where we're from, that can almost never happen here in Shreveport, Louisiana, due to a lot of mothers and, well, let's say absent mothers and absent fathers, enabling mothers and enabling fathers. So we have things like that where you allow your child to be a certain type of way in certain relationships, and not only that, you haven't been exhibited the proper relationships that you were supposed to see, so you or an example for your children, and previous on, your parents weren't a good representation. So it's just all a full-fledged circle until somebody decides to stop the cycle. Now, another thing, I just feel like people always have things misconstrued in the terminology of words of a whore. I don't feel like I am said what that word is, because a whore is somebody who is paid to have sex, to lay down for money. Anytime that I decided to lay down with someone, it was due to me genuinely believing that me and that person was going to be in a relationship. I didn't think anything otherwise. Now, making bad decisions and choices in men, that's not upon me, because let me tell you another problem that we have in this generation that a lot of people don't like to address. Men are liars. They have become extremely achievable and lying like the way that they do and pretending to love someone. I have literally been courted in the most fanciest way, taking on extravagant dates down to just anything that you can imagine, just to all be manipulated and lied to and preyed upon just so they could get one thing. And again, playing on the knowing of what I believe love is. So with that being said, me always having a fairy tale love mindset, I genuinely think that caused a lot of issues in relationships with me, because I know how to love and treat people properly. A lot of people did not grow up on love, and additional to that, they don't love themselves. Not only that, when you're in those state of minds where you're around people who aren't in love with themselves or anything, the only thing that they do know how to house is sex. So what happens is you'll mentally rape yourself. Literally, I've known other girls to do it. I've done it plentiful times, when you have sex with someone that you didn't want to have sex with, but you go on and have sex with them anyway, just because you want to be in that person's presence, and or not even just because you want to be in that person's presence, just because you also feel pressured in the moment of time. Because I can guarantee 100% that there's been plenty of girls that have said that they did not want to have sex or have said no, but a person continues to ask them and ask them and ask them and pressures them. So in your mind, you probably go to a shutdown, to where it's called a defense. If you go look it up, it's a different type of defense where a person will just go ahead and have sex with the person anyway, even though they didn't want to. It's just the way that a person just tries to escape. But that is mentally raping yourself. So what I would like to also announce to girls, like, you can say no. Don't be scared to say no. And this makes me like very emotional, because there was a point in time where I really didn't know how to say no. You know, I was feeling as if that was something that I had to do. And I grew up not genuinely knowing what sex was, not knowing the extent of what it could be and how it can hurt you, and how you can have demons and things like that. By the grace of God, I don't have any STDs. By the grace of God, my body is clean. It's nice down there. Hallelujah, if you know what I'm saying. But that's none of the point. The point is just like the fact that I didn't know about certain things, and people are trying to quote unquote put this, you know, statistic upon me. I'm not gonna let it happen, and I'm not gonna also let it happen to other girls, because someone needs to speak up, and someone needs to teach people about certain things. Like, I just wasn't taught these things. My mom was gone, again, majority of the time, because she was a single mother, because my father was in prison. You know what I'm saying? He did 12 years. He left when I was 7, so it was just always me and my mom. And then there was a point in the age about when I was 12 that I was really staying at home by myself. I was a very mature child. I ended up losing my virginity at a young age. Again, my mother wasn't there. The person who taught me about sex was the boy who took it from me, for real. Do you understand? Yes, I probably seen some other things that led to promiscuous thoughts and things like that, but never due to me being a full-on whore. I always presumed that when somebody wanted to have sex with you, that was love, and that was what a relationship consisted of. But I didn't have the knowledge previous to knowing exactly what that you were doing. Thank God I had found my way, and additional to that, I am in my word, I'm in the Bible, I am learning things about myself, and additional to that, I've been making things make sense on why I tended to do other things. Again, like just the giving up my body when I didn't have to give up my body. I used to have people around me when, again, I only just want to actually hang out with you. I genuinely just like to hang out with people and enjoy their company and their time. But some people have never even been around someone to love them enough to just want to be around their presence. That sex is the only thing that you feel that you have to offer. So that's another thing that you only want to push upon a girl. And then additional to that, since you push that upon someone now, and you know, so we're supposed to be feeling bad, and we're supposed to be the whores because you treat us wrong. After you tell me that you want to be in a relationship, get what you want and then move on, like, or do whatever and expect me to stay. I'm not gonna stay with someone who treated me a certain way, and I shouldn't have been giving my body away. But additional to that, I did not know that people in this world were fucked up and not people of their word. I did not grow up like that. Genuinely, I did not grow up like that. So I was blindsided, quite frankly. And not only did that take a toll on relationships sexually, mentally, physically, that took on relationships with friendships with people, just friends wise. That took on, same thing when it comes to family members. I have to learn how to say no on certain things. It's just so much that I have to learn about myself due to me having the lack of not that knowledge. And that's why I will never ever punish myself for something that I never was taught or had the knowledge of. Not only that, coming from a free family, my grandmother of 13 children, my mother being the oldest grandchild, my grandmother having my mother at 14 years old. And so, like, me being the older grandchild, it's just so much that, like, again, guidance that never was actually supposed to have been sought generations ago, never have been passed down. And that's why I just wanted to get up on this podcast and just really talk about don't speak on things that you don't know. You can't talk about people and you don't know anything about them. People talk about me all day, but I'm the most genuine, the most kind, the most loving girl that you would ever meet in your life. And the fact that there's men out there, and I'm talking to y'all, and I put this on everything, the fact that there's men out there who knew that, who knew exactly who I was and played on that just based on me having the heart that I have. And may God be with you all. May God do his big one. Do you understand? Because you know you're wrong. And not even just that, because it's for the ones who know they was wrong, but it's just even worse that it's for the ones, I want to say, I'm so sorry and I'm praying for y'all's parents. The parents are the reason that y'all don't have the capacity to love the way that y'all do. And for y'all parents, I pray for them, and I pray for their relationship with their parents, because they're also the reason that you weren't taught the things that you were supposed to be taught. And from your generations passed on, I pray for them as well, because this is nothing but an ongoing cycle of people not knowing how to love people properly, and then people who do genuinely know how to love people properly get what's the word? What am I looking for? What word am I looking for? Just be criminalized because of things that they have been through in their past, and not only they just not having knowledge of how certain things work. I still have the heart that I have. I will forever love the way that I love, because I genuinely feel that you are supposed to love a person 100%. I don't believe in lying. I know people are like, oh my gosh, this girl here, she just thinks she just did. No, I'm not. I just really know how to be a fucking human being. I know how to be a human, and I know how to love people because I love myself. So since I love myself, I know how to treat others. I know who God is genuinely. Everybody's doing this little big dance around in the world, but at the end of the day, none of this shit matters. None of the materialistic shit matters. Nothing matters but the soul at the end of the day. And what I can say about myself is, since I was a child, I always had a beautiful, pure soul. My light, my spirit has always shined every single place that I went. And people have been jealous of that. People have used that against me just because I have been a light and always looked at the world in the way that you're supposed to. All of you guys, if you ask me, are very much miserable if you don't look at it the way that I do. And I'm not just trying to say it like that, but I genuinely look at it in a happy way. I love every single person in this world. I love all animals, and I genuinely think that we should love and protect one another. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't make everybody feel the way that I feel or understand what I'm going through or whatever, but I'm just gonna speak on what I feel like needs to be heard, and I hope this reach whoever it needs to reach. And I pray for the girls that are out there that does hear this and that went through the same other things. Thank God for therapy, and thank God just for life experiences. And I just want to say, you know, I'm grateful for the experiences that I went through. Sometimes I be frustrated that I went through them because it makes me emotional. I do cry about it every other day sometimes, because it's just like, golly, why did I turn 25 and have to learn that? Why couldn't I learn this in the past? You know, and it's like you think that you would get a grip on things, but old habits die hard sometimes. Not only that, certain situations that people be placed in, from being homeless or abusive family relationships, can also make a person resort or have to move a certain way in order to get away from scenarios. And I'm not going to go into too much depth because I don't want people full on in my business, but I can just 100% say, but I'm never going to let nobody put that stigma on me saying that I'm a whore, because I am not. I was always just more of a free spirit, and if anything, you guys were the whores, because y'all were easy using someone, sleeping with someone so you can get what you need. And if you go look up what a whore is, that is the actual definition of what a whore is for the men who use me for cell phones, money, cars, and trucks, and whatever the fuck else, games, and whatever else that you got about a tiara. But guess what? Again, none of the materialistic things last, or not only that, God just don't miss any time, and he just continued to bless me and who I am. And I'm just, again, so thankful for who I am, and I pray for anybody who sees this, and I hope that y'all understand. But I just had to put this out there because I'm not gonna let, again, a stigma of something that genuinely didn't happen to be upon me. So I mean, hey, again, it is what it is. But if we're going to keep it all factual, let's tell the truth about what really went on, okay? We all know that every person, and a nigga would be lying if he said that I just wanted to fuck up on him. Everybody knows that I have always had the intent to be in a relationship. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I be wanting that YouTube relationship. I always want to take pictures with that person. I'm always posting. So come on now, make it make sense. And then prior to that, I was in a 5-year relationship, a committed one, where I didn't cheat on this man. And it's been, what, 3 years now? I need somebody to do a little bit better math too. Everybody has a stigma on top of Tierra, but never even fucking met me in person. I'm probably the happiest motherfucker ever. I tell people how pretty they are. I tell people how funny they are. And again, we're not just talking about me, but I'm just talking about can't nobody just really try to bash who I am. So I just need everybody to who that is trying to do that to stop it. Because if you want to go there, we can, because we can really talk about the demon that you are. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, because God gonna do that. Okay? But anywho, this is just one of the episodes that I just had wanted to talk about. Like, seriously though, deep diving into girls mentally raping themselves. Please stop doing that. You can say no to me, and you don't have to have sex with somebody if you don't want to. You don't have to have sex with somebody just because you feel the need to be around that person. If you don't feel like it, don't do it. Not even a little bit. Don't even let him make you think because your body is getting wet because he's kissing up on you after you already told him no, that you want to do it, after you said you didn't want to do it. That's just arousal from the human body. I mean, that's just what we do. So you have to learn a lot of things. It's just crazy that you even have to have that type of discussion, but it really is a thing where I know that I've told men multiple times that I didn't want to do something, or have definitely told them no, that I didn't want to do something, or can just feel the pressure and I'll just do it anyway, with me thinking that, like, okay, you know, I had to. Or not only that, it's just something in you where you mentally rape yourself. But again, that's nor here nor there. That's for you to get more into if you kind of understand exactly what I'm saying, because that is a touchy topic and I don't want to, you know, offend or, you know, make anybody feel sad or whatever. But we do have to talk about the truth, and I think you guys should really look into that. But with that all being said, I just genuinely pray for our generation. I pray for everyone. I pray that all the curses have become broken and that people can start loving each other how they're supposed to be loved. Because at the end of the day, I mean, the only thing you have is your soul. But thank you guys for watching.